Hey, this is Man-Made Mead. Today we're going to be checking out the tournament winner of my 2018 Mead Making tournament. It's been 2 years, so let's see if he's still the reigning champion. So if you're familiar with the channel, or maybe you've seen the videos, I did a mead tournament in 2018 with 16 meads that I'd finished. Now what happened was I'd made the 16 meads over the course of basically, it was like August of 2017 up until about May of 2018. And what I wanted to do in that timeline was a mead tournament. So I made a big board, faced them all against each other. I did it in a blind fashion, so I didn't know what they were at the time. I only knew their number. And I'm not going to spoil everything, all the winners, but go check it out. It's on the channel still. It's the mead tournament of 2018. And this came out to be the winner. I'm going to go and spoil that. This is the apple cinnamon mead, my very first apple cinnamon mead I've ever made. Now this thing, the whole time, it was a little bit elusive because it was a really, really good mead, first of all. However, I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't figure it out. And then at the end, I figured it out, and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of a dumb moment on my part. I have a little sampler. This is a 187 milliliter bottle of it. I've been saving for a while. It was made on September 2nd, 2017, and I bottled it on May 15th, 2018. So now it is currently the beginning of March in 2020. So we have let this sucker sit for a while. And we're going to taste test it and see how it is. I was really excited to try this one. Even when I opened it up, I could already smell it, and like it reminded me of honestly how good it was. I was very, very surprised. I did cork it. Now here's the problem. This little 187 milliliters are real tiny. That cork takes up a lot of the space in there, so I wish I hadn't corked them. You can cap them. The only pro to corking them is that they will last longer, and so maybe that's a good thing. I could keep these bottles. I still have a bunch of 187s from my first 16 to try. So just like I have not even put my nose to it, and I can already smell a really nice honey character. And the good thing about mead is the honey character develops more over time, and that is that's a good mead has a very warm, mellow, you know, depending on the kind of honey you use, aroma. So I'm getting that. I also get some apple smell. Yeah, this takes me back to 2018. Wow, that's crazy. So much like honey character, and I think I used at this time this was like clover honey. Pretty sure. I used a bunch of honey in this one. It was like 4 pounds for the gallon of water, and then I think I used like a Lalvin, maybe a D47 or something that got me up to about 14%. So I had residual sweetness. Gosh, this thing smells great. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. Yeah, that's it. This is pre me ever putting any potassium sorbate or metabisulfite in. Not that that directly changes flavors. It changes them a little bit, but it definitely preserves and stabilizes. That's what potassium sorbate does. So there's a little bit of that going on. Like there isn't any of that going on. In my other meads, there's a little bit going. The honey character on this is impeccable. It's really nice because it just pops. And I think because I used so much honey in the primary and the yeast capped out, I naturally kept that sweetness. I didn't back sweeten this one at all. I didn't really back sweeten anything until like 25, 30 meads in, and everything else was just done dry, basically. Not dry, but I'd never back sweetened. The cinnamon character pops a lot as well, and I really like that about this. It's not too strong, it's not too in your face, but it's definitely there, and you get this like apple juice flavor. My favorite mead like type is a sizer, which if you don't know anything about mead making, or if you know, you're just new in general, that is a mead that is apple based. So people often do it with apple juice. What I have here technically is a Melomel because I made a mead and added fruit to it. A sizer is a like apple juice based mead or apple cider based mead. And those are also really good. I've made a couple of them now. I have a bunch of iterations of this mead right here. This thing is what sparked my interest and desire to create like a really good, recreate this mead again. And so I really like it. Yeah, and it's got a good apple character. It's not as strong as I would like, but it's definitely there. The honey character pops over. It's definitely in the medium range. It's not quite dry, not quite semi-sweet. It's probably in the medium area. So it's not bad though. It's really good, and I want to encourage you, like, put back your meads if you can, and let them age. So like I have a bunch of these 187 milliliters that I have just let set for examples like this, to where I can pull it out a couple years from whenever I bottled it and say, hey, how is this thing aging? Now, I also am going through and doing bigger bottles. So I have like 2 bottles of this guy, like full wine bottles, that are also sitting, and that's in another box. And rather than, of course, opening that thing in, this year, I could wait a couple more years because I have tried this right here. Now, that should take some planning and a lot of patience, frankly, which I'm not great at, but obviously enough to get by with this. So definitely put your meads back if you can. And honestly, just if a mead tastes bad, you'd be surprised how well some meads age and like what changes over time. So in this case, like this thing was already good and it's just gotten better over time. But I've had some meads that were total garbage and they got better over time because they mellowed out, certain flavors popped, various things like that. But this thing was the spark of a lot of meads for me. So highly, highly encourage you to try making something like this if you're interested. And I'll go ahead and of course put the recipe here. So if you want to try and make this exact one, I'll caution you that every honey is different, every yeast is different, every apple's different. You might not get the exact same results as me, and that's okay. That's your version of this mead, and maybe yours could end up better than mine, and I'm totally okay with that. I just want everyone to make the best mead they can for themselves and for their friends, and I hope that you're sharing that mead with your friends. So, yeah. Now, I am going to be doing this more with some of these other meads, my older meads, in the future, and eventually I would like to recreate another mead tournament. And I'm at 72 recipes now that I've made, some of them being beers and a couple being wines, so those aren't really in the mead category. But eventually I will do another mead tournament, and I'd like to do one with my own meads, and then of course eventually, if I can figure out logistics and other things, I would love to do one with like everyone else's meads. But there's a lot more logistics to that than just doing it. So maybe one day we'll see what happens with that. But I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the links down below. Go check out I'll put the links to that series, to the mead tournament of 2018, excuse me, because that was a fun series to do, and I want to do it again. But I remember I just had a really great time doing it, and while I messed up and my palate was stupid and I guessed wrong on lots of things, it's kind of funny in a way, but I'm a little embarrassed by that. Anyways, I should have known my meads better. I should have a better palate. At this point, I'm hoping that if I did another mead tournament, I would have a better palate, so I could say that this is an apple, this is a pear, this is a whatever, blueberry, and we'll see. I guess time will tell. So go check out the links down below if you want to support the channel. That's the best way to do it. If you just want to leave a comment, say hey, give me some advice, or tell me what you think of some meads you've made. Maybe you've done something similar. You've made an apple cinnamon mead before, and you might really like it. You might have some tips. Regardless, I just appreciate your support, and I hope you'll check out all the links below. Go check out the video, and go tell your friends about mead making. I'm here to educate, I'm here to entertain, but I'm also here to send you guys out, because there's no way that we're going to get the word out about mead and help people try it in the first place without us taking it out to people. A lot of people are too hesitant to go and buy a bottle off the shelves of a commercial liquor store because it's a commitment in a way. So you can be the person to say, hey, I've got this mead, even if it's a commercial mead, try some. And then they go, oh, I like it, or oh, I don't. And then you can give them something else. So that is how we can help this world of mead spread around a little bit. It's a great great thing, and we just need to do what we can. So with that, enough of me talking. The King, honestly, he's probably top 4 or 5 of my favorite meads. He's not reigning champ anymore, unfortunately. Still very good, but yeah, the Mead Tournament winner of 2018, right here, my friends. Maybe we'll see a Mead Tournament winner of 2020. Who knows? Let me know if you want to see that video down below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. So with that, as usual, cheers.